Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I'm sitting down to bring you guys my quarter 3 homeschooling update as we head into the final quarter of our homeschooling year. And I want to thank my Zookeeper for sponsoring this homeschool update. So many of you guys are regular watchers, regular viewers, regular friends of mine who have been following along with my homeschooling journey. And I say we, as friends of mine on here, people that I have been able to share homeschooling with, encouragement with, we are getting ready to cross a major milestone in my life, not only in my personal life as a mother, in my oldest daughter's life as a young woman, and in my homeschooling journey, my very first huge milestone. And in my channel, this is gonna, it's gonna be different moving here on out after this change occurs. And so as we head into quarter 4, having completed quarter 3, this will be my final 9 weeks of homeschooling all 4 of my kids. The last 9 weeks of that chapter in my life for forever. And that is just something that I would never be ready for, never be excited for. I have not been counting down the days until that milestone moment. Of course, I'm very proud, I'm very thankful, I'm very blown away by God's faithfulness and what He's chosen to do through me with homeschooling and the homeschooling community all over the United States and the world. But this is a major, major moment for me as a mom, and it's not been an easy one. And so I wanted to start off this update with kind of saying that, because that is the elephant that's been sitting on my chest basically since this school year started. Just this anticipation towards this, just knowing it was coming, never going to be ready for that. Of course, equally excited and proud, like I said. But this is a huge moment in my life. And so to start off this update, I just wanted to acknowledge that and just kind of say that for myself as we head into the final weeks of this school year. It has been, it's been a journey, and it's been incredible, and I'm not done yet, but this moment, this thing that has been coming is finally like on basically 2 hands weeks away, and it's just crazy to be here. So that is the first part of this update. And I share that with you to tell you that if any of you guys are homeschooling moms who are graduating kids, whether it's your first you've graduated, whether it's your last that you're graduating, whether you have an only child, whatever the case may be, those kind of big life things, they affect you, and you are the temperature gauge in your homeschool. I've always remembered that. I've always thought about that. If I bring my best energized self, our school weeks, our school days, even when my kids were little, they were always so much better than if I brought my tired, weary self, which I've had to do many of times through the years. But the better I am, the better my homeschool is. And so this year, honestly, has been tough for me with homeschooling because of what I've been anticipating. And some of you may not understand why it's so hard, and some of you might really get it, and it's okay if you don't. But this thing coming, I've definitely felt affecting my energy levels, affecting my ability to concentrate, affecting my ability to really focus. Now, we have done all the things and done all the schoolwork, hear me out on that, but it's just been a little bit more challenging for me, and I haven't felt my absolute 100% energy levels in a long time. And I think it's just the burden and the emotional toll that all of this is taking on me. So if you are in a season like that and you feel like your homeschool maybe isn't as exciting or as fun or as lively as it once was, then just give yourself grace, because that is truly what I have had to do as well. So I wanted to mention that here just for the sake of if anyone else is going through that, you're not alone. It's been really hard for me. Now, like, I just want you to know we're still schooling, we're still learning all of those things, but it's just how I have felt on the inside when I've come to my homeschool. It's been a little bit different. Okay, so now we've got those sad little things out of the way. Let me tell you about today's video sponsor, which is Night Zookeeper. So I have been sharing Night Zookeeper with you guys here on my channel for years and years and years and years, and we have loved them. My daughter, who is graduating in a few short weeks, she had a lot of fun on Night Zookeeper when she was younger, and all of my subsequent children after. If you guys have not heard about Night Zookeeper, they are an award-winning creative writing platform for kids ages 5 to 12. I think there's wiggle room on both ends of those things. We have loved using Night Zookeeper for reinforcement and review of language arts concepts, reading, writing, creative writing, and computer literacy skills when my kids were a lot younger. I was very, very strict about what I allowed them to do with technology, and so Night Zookeeper was a great way for them to learn basic computer navigation skills and have a ton of fun reviewing things that helped them become really great writers as they've grown older. You don't have to be a homeschooling family to use Night Zookeeper. We are getting ready to come into summer break, and many of you guys know that there is something called the summer slide, especially if your child goes to a public, private charter school. There's a little bit of backsliding when it comes to where they left off and where they're going to start their new grade. And so Night Zookeeper can be a great tool to have on deck ready to go for those summer months of summer break, where you can say, I would like you to spend 30 minutes a day on Night Zookeeper, however, you know, an hour, whatever you want to do, but it will not be a fight. Your kids will want to play Night Zookeeper. They can win coins that unlock different features. They can create their own characters. They can even get feedback on their writing and have a ton of fun while they're doing it. So if you guys want to check out Night Zookeeper, I'll have a link down below. That's going to get you 50% off of your subscription. There is no code required. You just need that link, and they do have a multi-sibling discount plan. So if you've got more than one child and you want to set up multiple accounts so that they can all keep track of where they left off and their prizes are their own, then you'll want to take advantage of that. So all of the information to Night Zookeeper will be down below for you guys. Definitely check them out and save the 50% off. It's a very generous offer they've given, and it's 50% off plus a 7-day free trial. So get it all set up so you're set to go for summer break or travel or whatever you have ahead, or maybe you just want to have something that can be used on Fridays when you take a break from your language arts curriculum. There's tons of ways to plug it into your homeschool life, but it is an awesome resource. So all the information to Night Zookeeper will be down below. All right, so for quarter 3, I have some Cliff's Notes to share with you guys here in my planner. This was going to span our homeschool weeks 18 through 27, and then quarter 4, the last quarter of the year, will take us from week 27 to week 36 or 35, depending. Like many of you, this quarter, which began at the beginning of February and ended at the beginning of April for us, we experienced a lot of sickness throughout this time frame. Now, thankfully, everyone wasn't sick at one time, so I am very thankful for that. And I managed to stay healthy, but there were several weeks where I was down a kid, you know, like my oldest got sick, and then my youngest got sick, and then one of my boys got sick, and then my youngest was sick again. And so it was just one of those quarters in homeschooling where there was a lot of sickness, and we did our best through that. I always give my kids the option to do school or not, depending on how they're feeling. Obviously, if they have an extreme fever, or if they're, you know, have the chills or they're vomiting, of course, no expectation there. But if they have a common cold and they're just feeling stuffy and maybe a little tired, I will offer them the option to do schoolwork, which is a perk of homeschooling. If they decline to do school, that is their choice. I want them to listen to their bodies and understand when they should and when they shouldn't work. But if they do decline to do schoolwork, then they do need to rest in bed. And so that's kind of the guidelines that I've set up for my house, especially as my kids have become older, and it's been good. So there were some days where my daughter laid in her bed and did a few things, and then, you know, a day or two where someone didn't do any schoolwork because they just were feeling miserable. And so we just did our best through that. I always think that sickness and stuff always kind of works itself out in the end. I don't really stress too much over that. We also finished our apologetics class in quarter 3, literally the last week of quarter 3. I have been teaching that to my homeschool group at my church for middle and high schoolers, and it's been a very great study. I'll link to the study we did below. We got the books, and then we had videos that my church provided, and our church let us utilize the facility. And so at the most, we had 17 teenagers in attendance, and then throughout the year, you know, people drifted away, which was unfortunate. And I tried to really convey, like, please only start the class if you're going to finish it. But unfortunately, not everyone did that. And some of them didn't even like tell me that they weren't coming back, which I had to choose to be gracious and not take it personal. But that kind of stuff is just like, where is the courtesy there? But anyways, the class was really good, and I enjoyed teaching it, and I learned how to explain things in an even better way because I was working with kids that just weren't my own. And so that was a blessing, and we wrapped it up in the last week of March. Now, people, on my live that I did a live curriculum unboxing for next school year with my members, and someone was asking if I was going to do anything like that again for the upcoming school year. I don't know yet, because I was asked by the person in charge to do that. So we'll see if they ask me to do something else. I'm not sure about it, but I won't know that until like the middle of the summer, and I'm really gonna have to evaluate what I say yes to, because next year, friends, I get to do this whole graduation thing again. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. So we finished apologetics. In quarter 3, we also took a few fun field trips. These were not during school hours, but that's homeschooling. It's homeschool life. We went to the Atomic Museum in our area, which was really cool. I have never been there, and I learned personally a ton about the atomic bombs and different things like that, and it was really cool. We enjoyed that. It definitely tied very well in with chemistry, which my oldest son is in, so that was really cool. We also went to the canine trials in our local area, and that's where canine police dogs come from all over the West Coast to compete for the Top Dog Award, and it was really fun and really cool to see. We've been wanting to take the kids, I say kids, you know, even though they're older, but we have been wanting to go to that as a family, and we just never were able to. So this year we went. We all are dog loving family, and so that was really fun. I already told you guys about some of the major life changes at the beginning of the video, but in quarter 3, there were also a few more. My son was able to get his driver's license, so now we have 2 licensed drivers in our house that are teenagers. We celebrated my daughter's 18th birthday. If you guys saw the video where we decorated and we had a really fun girls' night, that was such a blessing and it turned out so cute. We also had senior photos for my daughter and they turned out absolutely beautiful. I was very nervous because spring in the desert is very windy and the winds that day were very blustery. They were like 40, 50 mile an hour gusts. And so how our photographer was able to get any really beautiful pictures is beyond me, but they turned out so great. So once I got those back, I was able to order her graduation announcements that I'll be sending out to family and friends near and far. And then I was able to order graduation party invitations, which I will be sending to people more locally who will be able to come. And I was able to order the large poster board to display. And so I was able to do all those final tasks for graduation stuff in quarter 3. Another big major life thing, at least as far as homeschooling and academics are concerned, is my son took his SAT and he did very, very well considering it was his first attempt on the SAT. And I think he probably will try it one more time in the fall, just the fall of his senior year, to kind of see where that one lands. But he did really, really well. And so that was exciting. Along with that, we also took him to the Masters University for View the U, which is a college tour weekend experience for consideration about him going there for college. He is dual enrolled there, so right now he is a high school student taking college classes. That's what he did this year. He's going to continue with that in his senior year next year. But he's considering actually going to the campus once he graduates high school. Lots of things that have to fall into place there and lots of doors for God to open, and then also just for him to feel like that's the next right thing for him. Jake and I to be in agreement with that. Lots to do there, but we did get to take him in a one-on-one trip and we had a really wonderful time. The Masters University is a very, very wonderful school and a very beautiful place that is very honoring to the Lord, and we were very impressed. So we did that in quarter 3. I'm looking down. I also had my senior parent meeting that was with our homeschool groups, people who are in charge of the ceremony that they do for graduation. I think I shared in quarter 2 that I was hoping for a date to work out. So we have resolution there because they did decide on a date. It wasn't the date that would have been the best, but it's a date that will be okay. Really the problem is with the date is that my niece, my husband's sister's daughter, so my niece is 7 weeks older than our daughter. So they were born 7 weeks apart. They are grandchildren number 1 and number 2 for my husband's side of the family. And they are both graduating high school, and her graduation, my niece's graduation, is on the same day that my daughter's ceremony will be. And I didn't have any control over that date. So I was hoping and praying that it would be a different date because I did not want to put my in-laws, the grandparents, in a position to have to choose where they would go. And unfortunately, that's what happened. So I don't think that all of the grandparents are going to be able to be in attendance at both. It's just not possible. And so we'll just see how it all works out. But yes, we have a ceremony day. Our church homeschool group, there's some moms that work together to put that on. And there was a planning meeting for it because my daughter has to give a speech. I need to prepare a slideshow. I need to make like a little poster board to display. She needs to have a cap and gown, which I already had. There's just some planning things. So I had that meeting in quarter 3. In quarter 3, we also went on a nature weekend. Nature study has always been a part of our lives as a homeschooling family, and so we were able to sneak away to Gunlock State Park, and we soaked up the sun, and my kids, my teenagers, had fun doing things like building boats that actually floated out of logs and sticks and binding them together, and made them strong enough that they could sit on them and sail across the lake. Quite impressive. And my daughters skipping rocks. We did stargazing at night. So much awesome. We went hiking. So much awesome family time, outside time, nature study, just all of that. That was really, really, really refreshing and very nice. In quarter 3, my husband also did a firearms safety class, and then subsequently has taken and is still taking each of our kids out shooting and practicing for shooting a gun. And so no better person than my husband to teach firearm safety. Some of you watching this might be wondering, like, why did we wait so long? My kids know about firearm safety from a very young age, but what we were waiting for was the age where everyone was mature enough to actually handle firing a weapon. And I know that some people think like, okay, well, when they're 8, they should learn. I wasn't really comfortable with that yet. And honestly, it was me that asked my husband to hold off. I wanted them to be older. I wanted them to be more mature. And so that has been something that they've really enjoyed. My husband has enjoyed imparting the knowledge and skills that he has in that area onto them. And so it's been interesting because all of my kids kind of react differently to that and view it differently. But either way, it's been a very good educational thing and something I've been really happy to have my husband do with them in quarter 3. In quarter 3, we did not take a spring break. Normally I do take a spring break, like a solid week off. We haven't had an entire week off since Christmas break. And that's just the way it was going to work out this year because we have a week-long vacation coming up in May. And I really wanted to stay away from vacationing that close to the finish of our school year, which will be like the first week of June. But that I didn't have control over the dates of that because that trip is partially a dance performance trip at Disneyland. And so taking that week off in May, I knew that we should not take time off in the spring. And so we did not take a spring break. We have had to take off a lot of Fridays and some Thursdays. And so it'll all balance out in the end, but we did not take like a set time off. In quarter 3, this has also been like the height of dance competition season. And so we have had just a lot going on with that. And that's been really fun for my youngest daughter to compete this year. I feel like things really clicked for her. She's been doing a solo this year for the first time, and so we've just had a lot of weekends filled with dance, and we're like in the thick of it right now. So competition season for us with dance starts in January and ends at the end of April, and there's about 5 to 6 competition performances that take up the entire weekend in that short amount of time. The last thing that I want to touch on for this quarter 3 update is that I ordered all of my homeschool curriculum already. I am so relieved about that. I love getting it done during the school year so that when I am on summer break, I can truly break from all things homeschool mom, especially after this year with graduation, the graduation party, and then the graduation trip that we're taking as a family. We are going to Hawaii for my daughter's graduation trip, and honestly mine as well, to celebrate that huge accomplishment. I really wanted to have all of the purchasing of curriculum done. And so I got that all done, and I shared it in a live with my members in my membership already. I will film curriculum videos next year, but only for 3 kids. And those will probably start coming out in May. But if you would like to see what I am using and how I've pieced things together before then, you can join my membership. The link is in the description box, and you'll be able to find that video. I am also going to be doing a live used curriculum sale and books in my membership. So if you would like to purchase any of my used curriculum, I also have a friend who has me sell her stuff for her. I will be doing that the last weekend of April in my membership. So again, if you want to be a part of that, you should click the link in the description box and join over there. I think I'm reviewing all my notes. I think that's everything that I wanted to touch on in quarter 3. We are chugging along with our schoolwork. I'm proud of us for being as far as we are, considering that some days it's been a little tough for me to find like the discipline and motivation and balance with my work life and my personal life and my feelings and taking care of me, my fitness, my nutrition, like all those things. It's just felt like a lot. And normally I'm very good at juggling a lot of things, and I still am juggling it, but I've just felt like it's been a little bit harder this year to do it. So I'm really grateful that we are in the home stretch of the school year. I think once everything is done and the anticipation of what is to come is over, I think I'm gonna feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna sleep for 3 days or something. I feel like I'm gonna feel it once it's all over. So if you guys would just be in prayer for me, that would mean a lot to me. Make sure that you check out the links to Night Zookeeper. That will be in the description box. If you have any questions about anything I mentioned in this video, feel free to leave me a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy homeschool updates like this one, and I will see you guys again in my next video very soon. Bye, friends.